I got a little crazy, and to be honest with you, that's the reason why I made the brisket. Here we go, smoked brisket cottage pie. I think we nailed it. If you guys want to see how we just made it, here we go. Alrighty, looking forward to today. I think we got a really good shot of making something fantastic. Shepherd's pie / cottage pie. I actually did not know there was a difference between shepherd's pie and cottage pie until I started looking for like what exactly goes into it. We've actually made it in culinary school. We used ground beef and we called it shepherd's pie. I'm not kidding. Now, this was not a prestigious culinary school, but they offer degrees, so you think da-da-da. The point is, today we're making cottage pie. Why? Because it's with beef. Shepherd's pie is with lamb. Now, how you do your beef doesn't necessarily matter, or lamb. You can do shredded, ground, doesn't matter. So we got our leftover brisket, got roughly 3 pounds. I'm gonna dice all this up and get it going. We got our smoker hovering around 300 degrees. We're gonna be able to stew that with a little beef consomme and just break this beef down as much as it can go. I'm looking for more like a shredded beef. I really think that the shredded beef is gonna come through the root vegetables and just go from there. First things first, I'm gonna trim some of the excess fat off. I just don't think it's necessary. Plenty of fat throughout the brisket. We're gonna small dice it. We got the flat and the point that we're gonna use. And all that's gonna go in our enameled casserole dish. Once everything's trimmed up, I'm using beef consomme as my beef stock. This is concentrated. You know, obviously you need to add water to it if you needed to, but you also need to be careful with your salt level. So I'm not gonna salt anything until I taste it at the very end for that simple reason. Look at maybe 2 to 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. 1, 2, 3. Just fill the can up with water as well. Add that in. That looks perfect to me. 2 cloves of garlic, smashed, finely chopped. Half an onion for now. We'll use the other half for later. Piece of foil. I'm just gonna cover this tightly. On the smoker it goes. We're gonna hover around 300 degrees. Basically, we're just looking to braise this beef down as just as good as it can go. Like, I want this beef super, super, super tender. So it depends on how you cook your brisket. You know, like if you had a real fatty brisket, it might not take as long. This was pretty lean. Still got a little toughness to it, just not a lot of things to break down in it. So it might take a little longer. I'm gonna look for maybe an hour and a half, somewhere through there. While we're doing that, we're gonna do the potatoes and the vegetables and get everything going. So when this is ready, we're ready. Got some baking potatoes, russet potatoes, Idaho potatoes. Basically, we're just gonna peel them. Really just chop them up, put them in a pot of water, boil it for about 15 minutes until you can slide a fork in it. You know, you're just making mashed potatoes, so the more tender your potato is, the less chance you have of like clumpy style potatoes. Prepping right along, we have 2 carrots. We have about a half a bag, roughly 6 ounces of fresh green beans, and the other half of the onion. We're going to get these chopped up and set to the side, ready to saute. Just finding the green beans with a stem still on them, picking those. Whatever vegetables you guys decided to use, that's up to you. I'm just doing classic. You want to add mushrooms, turnips. A lot of different varieties out there. The way I looked at it was basically almost like a 1-to-1 ratio. You know, like the onions are in there stewing with the beef, but if you just look at it, same thing with the peas. We'll do about half the bag of peas, which, you know, we did 6 ounces of green beans, that's 6 ounces, 5 ounces of peas, somewhere through there. So just give you like a ballpark of the amount of vegetables. To get started, just a little neutral oil, a few tablespoons, onions, fresh green beans, and carrots. We're just gonna saute until they're right before they're just too soft. You know, it's almost like an idea of a pasta, al dente. I'm gonna hold off on the salt because we need to check that beef consomme and all that stuff. You don't want this too salty. Once you add salt, you can't add it back. So we're just gonna prepare this and move it to the side. So when it's ready, we're ready. We need to add salt, we can. Fresh black pepper. About 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. Incorporate those ingredients. Add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of flour. Really just depends on how thick you want your brisket gravy style, right? This is what's gonna sit on the bottom of the potatoes. Cook that out just for a minute. I like mine a little hearty, so a little bit more flour. Probably lean on the 2 more than 1. Potatoes are ready. You can see that they're extremely soft. That's gonna be good for us. We're just letting them drain, let all that steam escape. While that's happening, let's grate up some cheese and the rest of the stuff that goes into the mashed potatoes. For the cheese, we're using Tillamook extra sharp cheddar, half a block, so roughly 4 ounces. 2 tablespoons of butter, those warm potatoes, nice pinch of salt and pepper. When I boiled these, I actually added salt to the water. A 1/4 cup of sour cream. Star of the show, horseradish. Hear me out. Horseradish and brisket, horseradish and potatoes. I don't know. It just screamed my name. Just screamed my name.
Whichever one fits in the jar.
Yep. So 1 tablespoon of horseradish. We're gonna mix it all up. We're not gonna add the cheese right yet. A little half and half. You can tell it needs some, so I'll start with a 1/4 cup first. There we go. There we go. One option I thought about doing was roasting like a head of garlic and doing like a roasted garlic mashed potato. I just didn't necessarily think that that was like the right thing to do, but it doesn't mean it won't be good. Just to know if the roasted garlic would overpower it. You want to add garlic, maybe some Parmesan cheese, something like that, a little nutty flavor, help balance that fatness with the brisket.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Homemade mashed potatoes.
Salt?
Maybe a little.
The horseradish comes through. It's not overpowering.
I was just
Don't
going
be
to
scared
say,
to
I
cook
bet
with
you could actually use a little more horseradish.
Don't be scared to cook with horseradish. We use it a lot. I think it's absolute perfect combination for a good burger sauce. Alrighty, I didn't want to shy away from my problem. I feel like the onions did not cook enough. They're soft. They're just not cooked as much as I thought they would. That's kind of like the truth about cooking. So instead of hiding it, we're just going to throw it back in here as much as possible to get these a little bit more tender. Honestly, they've been on the smoker covered for 1.5 hours, going on 2 hours. Anywhere between 300 and 325. And I really thought the onions were just going to break down. The brisket's extremely tender. So to see the onions not as cooked as much as I thought, that's what cooking's all about. So we're going to try to take as many out as possible. Get those broken down a little bit more.
So would you recommend when we write the recipe, are we going to leave the onions out
Of this?
of this part and just do them all in here?
Yeah, yeah. I really thought just adding the onions would add the flavor to the beef. I'm sure it would have if I'd have let it cook longer. But I didn't want to not show you this and be like, oh, it worked out perfect. And then all of a sudden you guys try to recreate it because I know you guys like to do our recipes. And then all of a sudden you got the same problem. But like, either he's lying or I really messed up. So this is, you guys know I don't shy away from the truth. So we're just going to let those onions cook in that. While we're doing that, I'm going to break up this beef. It is tender as can be. Put on my safety gloves because that thing is hot. Just break up that beef. We've turned the smoker up to 350. Alrighty, I'm not worried if each piece is broken up perfectly. You know, this is kind of like a loose meat kind of style anyways. Take those veg right to the pot. Just kind of work that in. And take those potatoes, top that off. Now I like the potatoes to be like, organic's not the word I'm looking for. Rustic?
Rustic.
I like the edges. I like the crispiness. I don't like it all flattened down and all that stuff. And there we go. On the smoker it goes for about 30 to 45 minutes at 350. Oh, yeah. About 45 minutes at 350. I'm just going to quickly take a blowtorch. You can see it kind of crispy we've got. It's not bad. It's almost about 75% of the way there. Just maybe top it off a little bit. Hit those little indentions. Alrighty. You know this thing's hot, so you gotta let it cool. So we let it cool. As much as I wanted to let it cool. I don't know, what do you think? Maybe right here? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're talking about comfort food 101. Should have made this in the winter.
Not when it's 80 degrees outside.
Yeah. Look at that right there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That soft smoked brisket. Hey, I'm a white bread and butter kind of guy. Maybe a little cornbread. Maybe a little hot sauce on it. God, this is good.
That is good.
The brisket's tender. The sauce is there. The vegetables are tender. On the back end, you get a little bit of the smoke. You think there'd be more smoke flavor involved considering we had this on the smoker for a while. But the brisket, you know, obviously smoked for several hours, 8 hours plus. It doesn't. It almost like it just tastes like a deep, rich stew. And I got lucky on this one. I can tell you that right now. I got lucky. This is better than what I anticipated. I thought it was going to be good. The horseradish.
Yep.
All right, guys, there you go. There is a smoked brisket cottage pie. Call it shepherd's pie. I'm down with it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to press that subscribe button, pound the notification button, share it with your friends. Peace. God, this is going to be hard to put down.
I know. Give me another bite. That is good. Kids won't touch it with a 5-foot pole.
No. I like the crispy potatoes. It's almost like you get two different textures.